I'm starting over. For those of you who are new to my channel, or for those of you who've been here but just don't pay attention to anything that I upload, I'm going to give you a history of the channel before I decided to set a match to it and restart with the video that you're watching right now. So I started uploading videos in February 2019, mostly centered around UX design, and up until November 2019 I uploaded fairly regularly, about once per week, because that's what the YouTube experts tell us we're supposed to do. Despite neglecting the channel from that point on, the channel has actually more than doubled in size, going from under 80 subscribers to over 160. And that right there has given me an undeserved sense of hope that I could turn this channel into something that both you and I could benefit from. Because admittedly, right around August 2019, I was creatively lost. Around that time, I put out some UX related content that basically no one watched, so I started experimenting with vlogging, which at the time wasn't in the spirit of the channel. I made some design tutorials, which brought in some views, but also brought in more dislikes than I'm used to. Combining all that with low engagement, finishing my master's degree, and building my filmmaking channel behind the scenes, I basically decided to take the rest of the year off. Okay, so here are the 4 reasons I'm starting over. The first is poor analytics. The harsh reality of UX design content is that no one comes onto YouTube to search for it except for the day in the life videos, which are unsustainable for content creators who want to post fairly regularly, because day in the life videos could only be created every once in a while. I mean, you can create a day in the life video that says a day in the life of a UX designer in 2019, 2020, etc. But that's not sustainable if you want to post, say, weekly or even monthly. This is why the majority of my subs came from 2 or 3 videos, and then once they subbed, they basically didn't watch any other videos. The second reason I'm starting over is that the UX niche is too small, which I basically already mentioned. I've observed that people who come onto YouTube looking for UX related content are basically looking for information on how to break into the field, which is why outside of the day in the life videos and how I got my first job in UX design, there's really not much content in that space to be made. And this likely explains some of my poor analytics, which signaled that long-term growth in this lane is unlikely. And then there's the third reason I'm starting over, which is that I don't just want to be a product designer or UX designer forever. The more ideal job for me is creative direction, and a creative director is closer to what I am because I consider myself a creative problem solver. Remember that a particular skill is just something that you use to build something meaningful, whether that skill is a design niche such as UX or graphic design, or if that skill is a piece of software like Photoshop or Illustrator. It really doesn't matter what you use to solve the problem. All that matters is solving the problem in the most efficient way that you can. And the last reason I'm starting over is that I have new production quality standards, which I guess is no surprise for someone who's been on YouTube for over a year. I mean, there's a reason I'm out here instead of in my building. My building is noisy, which, I mean, it's not much less noisier out here, but at least there's natural light here, whereas in my building there's no natural light. And also the interior of my space isn't particularly interesting. And outside there's infinite different backdrops I could use. So yeah, I'm gonna get used to filming out here from now on. At least until I'm able to move into a better place where I could build a studio from scratch, which would include the audio and the lighting and the backdrop and all of that, video stuff. But hey, it's San Francisco, and in San Francisco you can never run out of places to film. The only issue is the wind, but as long as it's not too windy, I can deal with filming outside. Oh yeah, and the noise, of course. But as far as quality standards go, all creatives know that the longer you practice a skill, the higher your standards are going to become. And looking back at past work and cringing is a great sign of creative growth, but that doesn't mean you have to leave up your old work for everyone to see. See, I'm no longer living in the days where I had to film everything using the awful front-facing camera on my iPhone 6 and poor lighting, having to jump cut every 5 seconds because the storage was always near capacity, which meant that I had to dump it, more than once for a single shoot. Alright, so let's talk about what the channel is going to be going forward. It's fairly simple. I plan to expand to cover more creative topics such as art, the built environment, or design topics outside of UX. I'd add filmmaking, but I have another channel for that. But I can't just end this by telling you what I want. I want to know what you want, so tell me why you're subscribed. And in the meantime, I'm going to get up and hopefully my butt won't be wet, and I'm going to go around Levi's Plaza here and film some of the B-roll that you saw earlier in this video.